regardless of where you live in LA County, if you look out a window or you're driving on the freeway, you can see the different fires. You can see that smoke. And assignment manager Mark Liu has been tracking it all. In fact, he was on with us yesterday when the Palisades fire broke out. And you're going to show us, because I think people might not realize, we still have very active fire activity.
We do, and I'm going to show you something that we haven't looked at yet today, and that's a different set of data, and it's from infrared imaging and heat sensing satellites in orbit. These fires that are currently burning in our region are certainly large enough and putting up heat blooms that can be seen with specialized equipment by satellites in orbit. And it's data that is available to view in the form of a website and a map. And I'm going to take you out to my screen now. What you're looking at here is a website called FIRMS, the NASA Fire Information for Resource Management System. And it's a collection of data from satellites that can sense heat signatures on the surface. And what we're looking at here is the heat signature over the last 24 hours of the Palisades fire. Now, there's a lot of data to go through here. The lighter colors, these orange and almost yellow areas, that's fire heat activity from 6 to 12 hours ago. But these dark red boxes that you see in the middle, that's fire activity from an hour ago. So really, that's where the fire is now. And I can change the opacity here, the opacity, to see where the active fire is. And you can see it is now in the hills to the north of PCH, moving all along. We are getting a look at the fire line by looking at these red squares. And you can see that just even in the last hour, there were heat signatures in the city of Pacific Palisades here, where we expect there is probably some very, very serious damage. Now, we can also see this activity over in the Eaton Canyon area, in the Eaton fire, and you can see this fire was extremely active in about 6 to 12 hours ago, but now we see the fire has broken into two flanks on either side. These red boxes are the squares that indicate that there was heat signatures just an hour ago, and Joy Benedict and Jasmine Veal were in these areas where we had seen the fire be so destructive. So this entire area of central Altadena has seen heat signatures large enough to be detected in space. And the other issue that I want to talk about is how there's also another flank of this fire, and it is moving over. Let's see if I can get out of my screen here just one second. There you go. It's over here. We really haven't seen all kinds of data about the area over here either. And so that is troubling in that there is a community on the eastern end that also could be dealing with it. And of course, this area of the fire in the north is burning up into the mountains. And there's really nothing out there until you get up into the Lancaster-Palmdale area. Now, there is one other fire, the Hearst fire, a bit of good news. I don't see any fire activity in the last hour. This is all from 6 to 12 hours ago. And then we were also talking about a fire that was in the Sepulveda Basin. It was right here. It was called the Woodley fire. Wasn't even big enough for these satellites to detect, and I talked to LA City Fire. The good news with that one, knockdown. No more active flames there. That one is out, so we are still only now dealing with the original 3 fires. But hopefully it's going to be cutting down to 2, as again, the Hearst fire up here in Sylmar doesn't seem to be as active as the 2 that are here. One other thing I want to talk about before I send it back to you. This is the aerial firefight going on in the Pacific Palisades area, and all of these icons you see here are orange, but the line that I'm looking at here, the flight path of an aircraft here that's this light-colored teal green, that's from an aircraft called Intel 12, and it is actually on its way back to Sacramento, if I can find it. It's right here. It's heading northbound, and this is the aircraft from the Governor's Office of Emergency Management that is going to be doing that fire mapping. We're going to get a much better idea of the footprint of this fire. It really hasn't been updated since midnight. So this intelligence-gathering aircraft is going to be able to share that with CAL FIRE, and they're going to get a much better idea of where the fire has burned. And as for the firefight here, Fire 3, Fire 2, all of these aircraft still doing a tremendous amount of work over here. There's actually a Ventura County fire, Firehawk now on the western end fighting that fire. So we're seeing a tremendous amount of resources here, and there is certainly a fire also, Firehawk in the Altadena area that's working on the western end doing water drops over there. So the battle for aerial superiority in these fires continue, and it is hopefully going to give those fire crews on the ground some hope, as those firefighters that are at the Palisades fire, now more than 26 hours they've been fighting this one.